Hi, beautiful. Wait, do you think you're beautiful? What makes you think that you're beautiful? Are there some things about yourself that you would like to change? And to what extent would you like to change, or would you go to have them change? If you want to know my answers to these questions, stay tuned and I'll be right back. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Freestyle Conversation. Today, we're going to talk about beauty, and my name is Amina. Well, so like I said earlier um, in the intro, these questions affect our lives in so many ways. Today, I would dwell more on the ladies, and so guys, please pardon me if I don't mention you that much, because for us, I mean, they say, guys, you ought to be ugly and rich, you know. So, and trust me, if you are rich, we will see all the good looking part of you that you never even imagined you had. So you're not so much in that pressure, um even though it does exist, but not so much as how it affects we the ladies, or more so how I think it affects we the ladies. Okay, all right, so what we talk about beauty, everybody's talking about beauty, everybody is mentioning beauty all over, you know. What is actually beauty? Simply put, I would say beauty is features of an object that is considered pleasurable to the eye and sort of have an emotional attachment also. So and the more features you have that are pleasurable, the more we consider you to be beautiful. And we would describe beauty with all sort of adjectives. You know, we will use so many words to describe beauty. But what may be beauty, or what may be beautiful to you may not be to the other person. And for that reason, we say it's subjective. And there goes the adage, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So, with that said, let me answer my own those questions with my own experience. Okay, so for me, if you ask me, are you beautiful? I'm gonna say yes, I am beautiful. What makes me think that I'm beautiful? I think my smile makes me beautiful, and when I'm confident, I feel most beautiful. So it's kind of vice versa, because when I'm most confident, I feel beautiful, and when I'm beautiful, I feel confident, you know? So those are my answers to those questions. Would I want to change anything about myself? Um, Not really. I don't want to change anything about myself. And so to what extent would I go to change anything? Not much of an extent. Well, so I would like to share. It's not like I've never had issues. I did have issues growing up. So growing up, I was big for my age. Usually we use the word fat. I know it's an abominable word to use in the US, but I mean, in other parts of the world. But in my country, that's how we can describe it. The person is fat, you know, it's big. So, and unfortunately, we have some words too that goes with it. Locally, we say you are obolo. Hey, obolo, obolo, you know, like big fat person, you know, like just to let you know. And the way the person will say it too will show you the depth of how, you know, the description is. The depth of the description. So they I didn't have a problem with how I looked, but I mean, you can't dodge it from the society, because you're working and people are catcalling and saying oh below, you know. And there was a song that came around that time too that was very popular, Ngozi. And it was just a lady, this fat woman who was loved by a man who, you know, for this fat woman, it's like nobody wants me, but you are interested. And this guy went about, you know, was just chasing the lady all around. And so Ngozi, Ngozi. And so they changed the Obolo to Ngozi, even though that didn't last for too long, because they went back to Obolo and they will still say Obolo even today. So and then they started Ngozi, Ngozi, you know. It was just all that, and I hated it. And for most part, my trunk is smaller than my limbs. And so mostly my arms were big. And I hated it even the most when people will hit you on the hand and tell you, hey, you are fat, papa. Hey, we are below, papa. You know, that kind of thing. And it will really get to me. So I had my arms being big and I had stretch marks on them. And so I would never wear, sleeveless to show my arms and all. And I would always use scarf or put on a coat, boyfriend jackets and all that just to cover my arms. But and then I had this flat nose, and because of my flat nose, I never wore sunglasses. I love them and I admired on people, but to wear it, no, because some of them, when I put it on, when I smile, which I love to do, it just pushes the sunglasses up, and then you can see, the hole in there, and it felt so embarrassing. So whenever I would laugh or smile, I just go down. So I would usually put the sunglasses on my head. You've seen a couple of my videos, and I've had it on my head. Yeah, but yeah, that's how I like to put them on. So if you ever see a sunglass on my face, like me putting it on, it means I'm so confident that this sunglasses looks good on me and rest well on my nose. So those two things were really hard. I actually had a senior ask me back in secondary school when we're boarding house, asking me, am I able to breathe? Such a silly question. But so I just looked at her and I just shook my head. But I was glad that during that period, I was still gaining my confidence to overcome these, negative descriptions of my body. So I didn't really mind her. But it's, if you keep receiving these kind of things from people, it has a way of affecting you, spoiling your day and all that. So I have been a victim, and I'm probably still a victim, but I've outgrown it. So yeah, and that's the story about me. Now let's go to the story about how all of these things came about. Who defines beauty? So sadly, it can sometimes start from the home. So right in the house, your siblings or your parents or people you live with, they're just telling you this person is beautiful than you are. Your brother is much more handsome than you are. He's tall, he's well built, he's all that. And your sister is beautiful because she's slim, she's tall, she's, curvy and all that. So you kind of, sadly, for some situations, it starts from the home. And then we have the community, as if that is not enough. So the community will comprise of schools, churches, everywhere you find yourself, the neighborhood, and I know it is worse in school, because that's when, especially in your teenage years, that's where you want to build confidence, also show off that, hey, I'm this, and you're developing features, of your body. As a female, you developing features, and as a guy too, you're actually developing features, and that's when you want people to recognize, to see that you're also becoming a woman or becoming a man. And sadly, if you are regarded as the most ugly in the class or in the school and all those things can even deter you from going to school. So it's worse. It's actually worse in the schools. So yeah. And then we have the effect of media and globalization. So what we are accustomed to as beauty or good looks and all that is being changed by the media. How is the media changing it? We're having programs like beauty pageants, where they have classifications, they have criteria for selection, and they'll mention a particular height, like above 5'7", and so what happens to those who are less? Already the media, or let's say those programs, are telling us that this is what we consider as beauty, because we're gonna, let's say Miss Ghana, Miss US, Miss that, and we have a selection process. We want people in this category: slim, fair, blonde, green, blue. They're telling you all that they want, And so if you don't fall in those categories, negatively, you feel like, well, I probably don't have the features of a beautiful person, but and unfortunately, we don't have programs that acknowledge the strength of other qualities. So, like world's most shortest person, beautiful shortest person, those kind of things. We don't have things like that. And so globalization, what you think you knew, you travel, you go out, you see other things, the world, and it all depends on who is dominating, who is making more on the media, who is showcasing more. So whoever is showcasing more is trying to sink in, some information in the minds of people of what beauty is, of what good looks look like, and all of that. So now the men have the six packs, and we have people who are not naturally built to have six packs, working very hard to, blend that lifestyle with lots of money, so people can overlook the big pot belly and that one pack, yeah. So globalization and media, and then there's another point that we overlook sometimes. I would say culture and colonization. Now let me say culture. So culture, we would select some sort of people to the throne, like we want a queen mother who looks like this. We want how should I say, we're introducing girls to the rights of, puberty and all those things, and we're already identifying who looks good in certain clothing, who looks good in, so we are defining beauty. If you're from my side, you're defining the curves. If you have the curves, you have the big boobs, and you have the big butt, slim, flat stomach, and all that. Oh, you're already there. We even look at those features before we come and look at your face. And so when we look at the features and we're attracted, and then we see the face and it's, it's good, we're like, oh, she has it all, but the body is what mostly counts before the face. And oh, she has a very beautiful face, oh, but she is slim on both sides. She doesn't have anything in front and has nothing at the back. We think of all these things. Well, so colonization. Now colonization, when we were colonized, for some of the African countries, or most African countries, the whites that came would always look at those that look closer to them and consider them nicer than those that look different. So you have the story of the Tutsis, and then those, from the Rwanda, Burundi, and all, so if you have the long nose, the pointed nose, you have a lighter skin color, you have, some features, that look very nice, then they would consider you better off than the others. Now, we may have been done with colonization, but even though we are done with colonization, we haven't really reformed our mindset about what is right and what is wrong. So, or going back to what we used to practice, there's always a change, but we haven't really, for most part, so we still would consider some people looking better off than the others. And that's where it kind of affected culture as well, or wiped away culture, so these things. And would say the industry of, the beauty industry and what is considered beauty has impacted our lives positively and negatively. On the negative side, I would say, if you, or let me start with the positive. So for the positive side, I would say, if you're considered beautiful, it kind of built your confidence, built your self-esteem. And then you feel like a sense of belonging. People have accepted you into their own. So you feel a sense of belonging. And then it kind of makes you happy, it makes you happy. These things really, really help. And funny enough, all these things that I did mention about positive impact, is the same way it goes for the negative. If you are considered not beautiful, it lowers your self-esteem. it doesn't grant you it. On the contrary, there's segregation, because you don't want to be among people that would not acknowledge you or anything, and you don't feel happy. Okay, and so people resort to all sort of remedies. Some, unfortunately, unsafe surgeries to get all the things that, those features that are considered good and beautiful. And then some of them too would resort to bad health practices like starvation just to stay slim and not eating well. And then some would also go to the extent of despising people. Anytime you say anything that rubs off that area of description of who the person is and kind of looks like, you become an enemy to the person. So bad energy, bad character, bad attitude, bad personality, so why do we even change? We change for so many reasons. Sometimes you may look beautiful at one point and may not look as such at another point. What are some of the things with your teenagers? Sometimes when you are having your menstruation, you have these pimples on, and it is not a pleasurable time. It is not a nice time. It's not a good feeling at all. Be hiding, and then for that reason you trying to play with it as if this is not supposed to be there and all that. So yeah, and then if you have gone through the birthing process, that you don't look yourself. You really don't look yourself. Your body has changed. Your body has gone through changes, and it has to adjust. So these are some of the things that change. Sometimes it's a health condition. You're not feeling well, you're sick, and so you look different. So these are some of the things that may change your looks over time. So in such situations, what do you do? First, I recommend that you have patience. Allow your body to heal. Allow your body to go through its natural process of restoration. And then, trust me, ignore the fake competition. So secondly, I would say you should exercise. Let it be mild and gradual. Eat healthy. Good dieting. Personal grooming. Do your hair, do your nails, look good. And then change your wardrobe. Don't wear the same things that you used to wear. I mean, the body doesn't fit that. Embrace the age or the period, and then get the appropriate clothes that goes with it. Also, put on a smile to complement your look. When you smile, you show that you're confident in what you look, what you're wearing and how you look. So put on a smile. Also, acknowledge the moment and celebrate your achievements. If you have gone through birthing, you know that you've brought in a life. You've brought a life into this world. So I mean, accept it, and these are your achievements. If it's a health condition, you are working your way through. You are becoming stronger than you used to. So accept the achievement and celebrate them. Also, finally, sometimes you can never go back to the size 6 that you used to be or 10 that you used to be. Accept it, but accept how you look now. Work on it. As my secondary school motto goes, it says, brighten the corner where you are. So in conclusion, beauty comes from within, and actually feeling beautiful from within has a positive effect on others. And for that reason, I say that feel beautiful, know that you're beautiful, and you're in this world with your kind of beauty to add up to the beauty that already exists here. And also remember that anything in its natural state is perfect. So you are perfect. Don't change anything. Be yourself, love yourself, and respect others. And your importance has not elapsed, and you're still in this world because you're important. So thank you very much for coming my way. I'll see you in my next video. I'm Amina, and I'm out.